I'm back. Got more coffee and I got my tangerines. Unto the breach. Good news, Rigo. Thancred and Uyanje have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now. Let's see what they have to say, eh? A gay Luigi? Ah, a welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've more than been busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was a little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit goes to Alice, Graha, and Hugo, but I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we're proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will have also heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step towards addressing the prime crime, we had a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back. I can't help but noticing that we're short one Urianger of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try, repeatedly. But no, he decided to linger in Alamingo to reprise Raubon and the others how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lee said, worse in fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Illard, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Vandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they lost a will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence. With one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working their day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. Transform it? Into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of aether in mind, magitech in other words. Yet, as unnerving as there's nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarm the place like so many insects, and with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. They were as possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. As if Vandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger. Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raubon is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You may be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one way back. I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter. As I promised Kryle, we need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. Alamigan Corter. Kohi. It is really weird how well the earlier parts of the game now evoke a strong sense of nostalgia, as if I played them 10 years ago and not 1 year ago. I think it's something about lives having multiple eras, and starting a new job means the start of a new era. So even if it was in the recent past, it was still a different era. Specifically Stormblood, actually, despite it not being my favorite. Friends, much more have I heard your travels in our absence. Heartened I am to see you hale and whole. As we are to see you safely return from your mission around J. I trust Thancred making you feel welcome. Well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Fingerless gloves. Arenvald, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd been away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? Enough of that, it's good to see you looking so similar. Thought you'd grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. You are short. Sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body is hardly aged, as you were well aware. And may I remind you that we Eladrin are known to be late bloomers. Okay, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Auroch such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Okay, Alphino. Sure. I'm a big kid now. Aye, 'twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Munrita towered over me nonetheless. Arvald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So, what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. For Dola? Set out? Does that have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? Bye, Arenvald. For Dola's going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arenvald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Last time we had a meeting in this room, Thancred went limp.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades.
Comrades?
An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then, we have seen no sign of this Daniel or his worm.
Daniel?
And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
I love how pulled out Ralbon's chair is and how pulled in Her Highness's chair is. That's so funny.
Whenever and wherever it may be,
Good detail.
we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that
She's
sort
so
of thing
funny.
before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
Why would they say such a thing?
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma.
Doma.
The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task.
Knock knock. Oh. Yeah, her.
What?
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Fair.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
I need to forget what their gift is. They're resistant to tempering somehow?
Are you certain about this, Ironvolt?
Oh right, they had that experiment done on them. I forgot. That was like a year ago.
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Alright, outside, let's talk. That's out in the open. I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the form...
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
Sort of artificial echo. Yeah, they were in like a test tube. And Xenos was standing over them.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
It's been long enough, she's fine now.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head!
Telophoroi?
I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Fair. A good rationalization for her to do a heel turn.
If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
I was like, Alphino's gonna mess up the fist bump. He's gonna do the turkey.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Camaraderie. They just add extra syllables to words.
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagelthan instead.
Pagelthan.
There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
He's so self-conscious about that.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh?
I like this guy. He's cheeky.
It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
She's got to smile at some point, right? Like once. Right before the noble sacrifice.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both.
Look at his stance. Just like powerful. No one else does that.
While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task.
The cat thing?
Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian.
The cat thing.
And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Steady, Ed.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard.
Bonanza.
It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
I think I'm going to just do all the raids between Shadowbringers and Endwalker. I think that's the thing. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna try and just like knock them out. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Just knock them out, it says. So if I've ever just knocked anything out in this game before. Here be dragons. Nice. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope. We must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. There is no time to lose. Standing with the confidence that Graha has during any cutscene. What does Gondolimbod have in mind for us? Gondolimbod. All present? Good, let us split up and search for Estinian. We're relatively new to this place. Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Ryugo can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later. With or without Estinian. Good luck. Shall I begin at the Skysteel Manufactory? So perhaps you could try the congregation. See a may will have the news of our friend's return. Lucia is near the Forgotten Night. Evanswords does the best music. Good day to you, Warrior Light. Lord Emeric sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? In my opinion, I see. No, you are not aware Sir Estinian's return to Ishgard. So I expect you to remember he is wont to come and go as he pleases. He came seeking an audience with Lord Emeric only to find him absent. In any event, I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. She said, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Airship landing. Astrologa.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
She's never met him before?
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
Oh my god.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
Oh, she's gonna kill him. She's gonna kill him.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Oh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
That was cute.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long.
There's two of you.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
Lordling.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
keep them all to yourself forever.
Keep him to my... You're joking, aren't you? I'd be glad if someone would take him off my hands.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I forgot we never resolved that.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation?
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
Don't tell him the name, he won't get on the ship.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again, and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less... blunt?
We're just here now. We're just in the Delta Quadrant. It's been quite some time since I last set foot in Azla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant. But I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, where you goes the person to ask. As far as I know, he's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face-to-face. It helped that Midgard someone was there to introduce me. Ah yes, you were a friend of her father. I, too, have met with Tiamat. After the Dry Garden Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against the man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance. And asked as much, she said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her, even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat might have been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Ah, yes. Pizza. Pizza. Company rank up. What? Sure. I did that. I did that. The music here was really good. Tiamat awaits. This way.
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Yeah, she doesn't get the newspaper. Stretch.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished. Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Yeah, she's all tied up still.
you too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal. There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
I roll at Alphino. Orxies have shown to be ineffective in curing the tempered. Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process has failed, it would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Alligans kept detailed records on all of their notable captives. I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphino and Rigo here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of the star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. But I do not claim to know all of her sorrows. I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, but now it would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tatran's famous tea. And be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes, we are familiar with it. The Aetherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this. A spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that could be seen as rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. So I keep one at the ready should the opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. And armed with the spirit vessel, I posit that they do the same for you. Even in the absence of, well, the rest of me, it seemed worth a try at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, not less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is to simply identify the relevant node or nodes. As we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Node. The friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Nope. Node. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause intruder interference. Advise deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. Glamorous node. Warning, scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in minus 2,220 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Got it. I'm afraid Estini and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? A node which smelled like burnt hair. I know the one, though I thought the stench more akin to fire in a manure shed. It seems likelier to explode than grant our wish. Surely there must be another. I found a way to activate mechanical sentries if that's any help. Only if they're willing to lead us to the nodes we seek, which I somehow doubt. From what I recall of the flagship's design, the node you found could facilitate communications toward Osla. We may yet find a use for it. No. chirruping note which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promisingly, and suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the note of which Graha spoke. And it was chirruping, you say? Let's take a closer look. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanism? You do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. Good robot voice, Alpha. New user detected, commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of royal family. Please state your name. Justinian Wormblood. Very funny. But if that thing speaks my name, I shall see it never speaks again. Use your own in case you've forgotten. Username detected. Username changed. Welcome, Ryugo Hashigi. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanism when ready. The convenient dragon containment mechanism. Yeah, Tiamat's been contained for 2,000 years and no one's thought to authenticate the node. Error, unable to disengage restraints of the specimen. A system update is required, of course. So system update is required. Of course it is. System update? What is it asking of us? To smash it to pieces. Now that I do understand. You can go first. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link between said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. The issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So this thing can release the restraints or not? It can, but only once the requisite system update has been installed, as far as I can tell. Until which time it'll float here spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. I am here to help. Rest assured I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying. But I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. Complete. Afro.